Now then guys, what's going on? This is Yorkie here, and no, you have not found yourself stumbling across a time machine and going back in time to where we still do the Leicester series. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and it's a series of videos that I want to make in the long run when we finish a long-term save, or just a save in general that we've really enjoyed, where we go back and do a what happened next. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today with Leicester and this unbelievable team that we've got. Can we go on and win the Premiership? It's going to be a one-off video, a little bit like the rebuilds, but probably a little bit more involved. And I have to be 100% honest with you. I want to be clear right now. One of the main reasons why we're making this video is because I miss Patson Daka. I miss him. I don't care if I have a problem. I don't care if maybe I should be sat down and speak to someone about this issue that I have, but I miss Patson Daka. I dream about this man on a daily, and I miss him. I just need to use him again, and this is going to be the perfect opportunity for it. I don't know how many seasons we're going to go. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's the first time I do it. I will recommend that maybe you pour yourself a brew, get yourself a juice, and some popcorn or some crisps and some snacks, because I don't know how long this is going to go. It might be a long one. We might do 3 or 4 seasons. We might do one. We'll be doing more than one. It wouldn't be a good look into the future. We've got some youth players as well, so this is where the youth players come in to be important. We're going to see how Sheng turns out and other young players, and also actually how this team would do in just pure simulation. I will of course still make some transfers. And yeah, man, let's just get into it. I appreciate each and every one of you that did show love to this series. If you are new to the channel and you've stumbled upon this video, seriously, go back and watch it to figure out what the hell is going on here with the Leicester team. It was a really fun one. Really enjoyed it. The first complete one, we can say, of FIFA 22 because of the shambles that happened at Tottenham. Don't want to talk about it too much. Gets me upset and angry. But we did move on, and I chose Leicester. And do you know what? I bloody love my time here. So let's see how we get on then in the next 3 or 4 seasons. We'll skip into the next year. I imagine we're going to have a big budget. We'll see what happens. The problem is with the sim is it just favors the players that are the best. So that will be something that we see. I might struggle to get the youth players actually played. And we ended this with a 66 manager rating. We won the Champions League with Leicester. We got a 66 manager rating. Here we go then, officially season number 4. We got a big budget. We might ball out with this budget. We have a pretty sizable budget. And if I look at the squad that we have left over, it's not a massive one, which is definitely going to help me moving forward. But it's still a very good squad. A squad that we could probably improve in places. Left back, basically. But overall, I still think we'll have a pretty decent first season here. I might even have to invest in the wings as well. This is the problem, right? With us not simming, I know full well that these players just will not play as well. Got players like Harry Wilson and Brooks. I think we probably need to go and get ourselves a cam. We're pretty tidy though, right wing. The problem is we've got right wing and right mid, and I think we play right mid, so Ismaila Sarr won't actually play as a right midfielder. Can I retrain him though, or is it going to take me forever? 66 weeks because of his age. Just have to hope that my assistant will give him those games at right mid. To be honest with you, the left side as well. I don't know. Let's do some business. Forgot we already had a super tidy like transfer list. There's a lot of decent players on here. We ain't messing about at the start of this one. I've just gone all out, to be honest with you, and I think I probably would have done that this season anyway. I think we were due like one of those seasons where I went all out for bigger name players. We brought in Luis Diaz for the left midfield position, Zaniolo for the cam position, which is the one I really knew I needed to improve in the simulation, and then Mikalenko for left back. It's this unfortunate thing that I'd love to keep the core of the team together, but when you sim, like, genuinely, you have to just base it 1,000,000% on overall. That's all the sim cares about. Just get these guys in the team straight away and just kind of see, like, how we're probably going to line up now. I'm definitely going to have to move some players out of the squad to be, well, really to facilitate all these moves. We're really good in the center of the park and at the back. So, like, genuinely, this is probably the only deals we're going to do. I wouldn't mind picking up someone for right mid, but my issue with the right mid position is I like Pino. He's still going to keep growing. And I'm just hoping they play Sarr, because Sarr's actually really good. Obviously, a couple of these guys are out on internationals already, but I think that just strengthens us massively. I'll be interested to see how we do halfway through the season. Kelechi and Nacho's got a bid in for the moment, so he's going to be leaving the club. But we'll see if anybody else goes in this window. We're going to kick off season number 4 here then with a trophy. Yeah, it's only the Super Cup. Now, I've given Ricardo the armband, because I think he's the longest serving player here at the moment. So I feel like he should have the armband. But there we go. We've got our first trophy of this what happens next. I don't even know what to actually call this at this stage. This doesn't have a name, but we got the first trophy, and I must add we got the trophy by this stunning overhead kick. It's great to be back with Patson. It really is. One of my favourite moments now of Leicester is going to be in this rebuild episode. What a moment. Overhead kick. I'd have lost my mind. If you'd have seen me do this live, lost my mind. Before we chuck that game in, why not? I ain't going to play too many games. I want to see how it does with the simulation, but I missed Patson Daka, didn't I? So I needed to play that one. Apart from maybe the odd deal now, I don't see much happening. I'll show you who's left the club, but that is probably going to be this window for us. This is what we've done. Jordan's gone out. Samare's left the team. Sheng's gone out on loan. Iheanacho's now left the team. We brought in Diaz, Mikalenko, and Zaniolo. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the squad we've got with these 3 additions that we've made. And maybe there'll be a couple more loan players out, but I ain't going to let no one big leave the team. Let's see how we get on here in season number 4. One of this, but 4 in general. If we get to a Champions League final, it'll look like we're going to win the Premiership. I will be back for that. We do actually make one more signing. It's a backup striker. I feel like we need one that's a little bit better, again, for the simulation. I'm going to say that a lot in this episode, but the sim is the way the sim is. 81 rated Timothy Weah is going to join the club. We're also going to let Angel Gomez go because we've got Diaz now, and I prefer Lookman to be the backup. We were always a bit 50-50 on Gomez, and with Braff going out on loan, hopefully he'll get to like the 82 rated by the end of the season. He will then come in as the backup, and unfortunately, we'll probably have to let Lookman go. So here we are then, just before the start of January, and I just wanted to show you how bad the simulation is on this game. We're currently sitting 10th in the league. We won every single game in our Champions League group, but we've got 6 draws. I'm telling you, more draws than IKEA in the simulation on FIFA. It's horrendous. Like, the sim does make this so much more difficult. We're not 100%, you know, completely out of the race. As long as we get Champions League football again this season, that's fine. But it just shows how much I'm going to have to blow up this squad and base it 100% all on overall, because we're 10th in the league. We've lost 6 times already. One of the reasons for us doing so badly could actually be that Nick Pope is out injured, and backup goalkeeper wise, we suck. We genuinely do suck. So maybe for once we did actually need a backup goalkeeper, because with Pope being out, I imagine that's why we're conceding so much. Decided to fix the goalkeeper issue here in January. We need to do it. With Pope being out for that long, I can't afford to lose that many more games, so Ramsdale will come in. A couple of players leaving us here in January as well. Brooks has already gone, and now Loftus-Cheek will be leaving as well. Here we go then, the end of this season, and we are in the Champions League final. Again, back-to-back Champions League finals. We're going to take on Barcelona. First of all, let's see how we got on in every other competition. We'll kick it off with the league. I mean, our form was so bad in the league anyway. We finished 9th. 12 draws. I'm telling you, the sim is trash. 12 draws. Like, absolutely ridiculous. It does look like we turned our form around a little bit once, you know, we had a fit goalkeeper in there. But I just, honestly, I don't get why there's so many draws in this game. Look at Everton, 17 draws. There is too many draws in the simulation in FIFA. Honestly, it's horrendous, but it is what it is. That's why you always see like league champions with quite low league point totals. Like Man City won the league with 6 losses, 9 draws, and 23 wins. That's nuts. But anyway, it is what it is. We finished 9th. If we win the Champions League, we get Champions League football again, so it's all cushy. Did we win any cups? We didn't. Arsenal won the FA Cup, so that'll make the Arsenal fans happy, and we were knocked out by them in the semis. Nottingham Forest making it to a final. In the Carabao we won. We beat Liverpool. So if we win the Champions League, that means we have Champions League football and 2 trophies. That's not a bad season. That's not a bad season. This is going to be the start 11. I'm actually going to look at the players after this to see how they've got on, but I can already see that Patson Daka is a 91 rated. I'm not going to play this. I'm just going to quick sim it. I want to leave as much as this down to the sim as humanly possible. Will we be back-to-back champions? They got Ansu Fati, Timo Werner, Dembele still in the team, Tuchemani in there. Like, this is a really good Barcelona team. Hopefully we can pick up the victory, and it'd be massive for us if we do, but we don't. We lose 2-1. So the next season, we ain't got no Champions League football. Absolutely ridiculous, that. Absolutely ridiculous. I would put quite a bit down to maybe Pope being injured. I don't know how long he was injured for. This is something that FIFA needs. So say I'm simming in NBA 2K, and I'm going to make a video on this soon about the differences between NBA 2K and FIFA. I know they're 2 different sports, but just the stuff you've got in that. Say I'm simming and someone gets injured. It stops to tell me that somebody's injured. Obviously, FIFA doesn't have any simulation level of mechanics because it's trash as, but it is what it is, right? We finished 9th in the league. We win the Carabao Cup, and that is it. And we lose in the Champions League final, and we won't even be in Europe next season. Now, if we was keeping this realistic, I would obviously now have to sell some players because we're not in Europe. But that's not the plan for this one, so we're going to keep everybody in this team. In fact, I don't think I'm going to make any transfers because it's not as if we're ridiculously old. I'm probably going to keep the squad exactly as it is for next season with a few loan players out, and we'll go to the end of the next season. After we have a quick look at the stats and how people have got on this season, we'll see that Ismaili Sarr is actually top goal scorer, man. Ismaili Sarr with 43 goals. He's gone up 3 to 87. Patson Daka up 3 now to 91. Absolutely nuts. 24 goals for him. 12 for Timothy Weah. Man's come off the bench and done well for us. I'm pretty happy with like some of the performances. The goals seem to be there. Let's see how many games Pope actually played. Pope played 50 games, so he got a lot of games in, but obviously there was a big point where he was missing, and Ramsdale did come in, but Iverson had to start 13 games, and I imagine we did trash in all of those 13 games. That's probably a big thing. We'll take a cheeky look now and just see if anyone grew like massively. You've already seen some of the forward players have grown like exponentially. I think I probably will go in for a left back actually next season, so maybe there will actually be a couple of transfers to do, but the majority of this team now I'm happy with. I think we should be decent. I'll go for a right back as well because I like Molina, but I bet he's not being used correctly. Thomas is going to go up as well. We're going to sell him. We already got an offer for him, so why is it telling me that? Thomas is going to go up as well. I'm going to add him to the transfer list, but apart from that, I mean, like, the team had a decent season. 91 now for Ndidi. I'm not too stressed about it. I think we did well this season. I don't want to change too much. I think we've got the pieces to the puzzle. But I say we did well. We did well in the Champions League. Absolutely trash in the league. Sanchez went up 1. It's more these loan players, right? So Gibbs went up by 3, which is good to see. Jordan went up by 6. So they got those kicks by being out on loan. These 3 players will probably be loaned again. And then hopefully I will get to use at least Sheng. But I mean, I'm really impressed with Gibbs going up, but Jordan as well by 6. So loans are actually really huge for growing players this year. Zaniolo went up 1 by 87 now. Harry Wilson. So we've got good backups everywhere. Loftus-Cheek, I didn't manage to sell him. Still waiting for it. Braff didn't go up out on loan, so I'm a bit devastated about that. But Gabriel Curtis went up by 7. Yeremy Pino only up by 1. But again, like I feel like we're solid in positions. I really do. I don't know. I think maybe it was the goalkeeper situation. I don't know how we've ended up in that position. Up 3 for Yuan. I need to get him alone as well. As well as organising a couple of loan moves, we have moved on Molina and Thomas in hopes to improve our left and right back situation for the coming season. The biggest issue is that they were set to wing backs, and it was going to take me far too long to change their roles. So with a season without Champions League ahead of us, we do have a hefty budget in order to get ourselves back on track. I genuinely think that was just a fluke season. This squad is a very, very good team, and I think we'll be okay. Left back acquired. We have signed Alberto Garrido, a young new gen from Arsenal, and let's see how he gets on. But he's 81 rated already. I think he covers that position which Mikalenko will be starting in perfectly, and he only cost about 35 million. Pretty much only the business we needed to do in this window was sort the fullback situation out, and we're going to do that now by signing Kyle Walker. Again, basically 35 million. So we haven't spent a lot of money. 70 million on a left back and a right back. I mean, it's pretty decent for us. The rest of the team I'm happy with. We moved a few players out. We'll look at that now. There still might be a few loans to be done, but we'll see what happens. None of them are big names. Scarlett has gone on loan to Burnley. Benkovic has now been sold. Eventually, it's taken us so many seasons. Of course, Garrido and Walker Peters coming in. And that is the business. Of course, we did a little bit of it in the window, well, before the window actually opened, by moving on players like Loftus-Cheek and Thomas and Molina. But that's us. I think we're good enough now for this season. We've got good backups. The team looks decent. I'm trying to get these youngsters loaned out again. This is an unbelievable squad. If we don't have a good season this year, if we don't get back in Champions League football, maybe pick up a trophy along the way, 1 or 2, maybe even win the Premier League now we don't have to worry about the Champions League. I think Chelsea did that after they didn't have Champions League football. I can't remember fully. But that's the plan now. Operation at least get back into Europe, but I'd love it if we could win the Prem in this season. Let's get to the end of that season, see how we got on. I completely forgot when I said we wouldn't have Europe. We won the Cup, didn't we? And the Cup does give you now the Conference League, not the Europa League anymore. The Cup gives you the Conference League. So we do have European football. It's Conference League. We should win it, but we do have European football. Right then, lads, we're back. It's the end of the season. We haven't won the Conference League, which is an absolute disgrace considering the squad we've got. We didn't make it to the semi-finals of the Conference League. It is really, really disappointing. We didn't make it to the quarter-finals of the Conference League. Yes, that is correct. We do get knocked out by Olympiacos, 5-4 on aggregate. And I don't know. The simulation just is, I don't know. But anyway, we couldn't beat Olympiacos with the team that we've got. And we didn't do anything in the Conference League. We coincidentally didn't do anything in the Carabao either. I don't even think we made it quite far in the Carabao. I think we got knocked out super early on in the competition. By the looks of it. Did we get knocked out here? We got knocked out in the 3rd round on penalties to Southampton. We did manage to make it to the FA Cup final. We did manage to make it to the FA Cup final, but lost it. So, I mean, that does us no favours either. There will be no trophy then this season, right? Or did we manage to win the Premier League? Did we fail in absolutely everything else because the team's sole focus was this season we're going to win the Prem? And maybe that is correct. We did end up winning the Premiership with 85 points, actually really comfortably ahead of Tottenham there. We dominated the league, to be fair, which is great. I'm really happy about that. But the fact that we've got the team that we've got, and I've got strength and depth as well. We signed strength and depth, and that we can operate at this level in the league but can't beat Olympiacos, it is pretty sad. And the board think that as well. We have a 41 manager rating. I've never survived in a job if we've had 41. Anything below 45, well, 45 and below, I've never survived. So this is going to be interesting. This is, one, going to be a test of the objectives and how they've changed. And 2, well, it's just going to be interesting. Now, I think winning the Premier League title should be enough. We did get to the final of the cup. This is the problem, right? It doesn't take into account your achievements in the cup. Just because we didn't win the cup, it basically treats it as if you didn't even get there. But, you know, of course we did, but it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. The Conference League is a shambles. They should be mad at that. That is an absolute joke that we didn't do anything in there. And then the brand exposure needs to be eradicated off the face of the earth. This needs to be drop-kicked out the window. It needs to be gone. It needs to be punted because it's so fucking bad. I don't swear often on the channel, but the brand exposure on this game, it is just super bad. It is just super bad. The domestic success at this stage isn't too bad, but these are goals that we had before we even got where we are. So we'll see if we keep our job. This might actually end us doing 5 seasons and me getting sacked. We'll see if we keep our job. I'm not expecting me to keep the job, but I'll be happy if we do. There is one thing I've noticed as well. We seem to be getting more injuries in simulation. Look, Diaz there is injured. Like, there is more injuries now in the simulation. That's becoming more apparent. But let's see how the lads got on. I think we had a fairly decent season again. Look, Patson Daka, the man, the GOAT, the absolute GOAT, getting 40 goals. So, I mean, there's one thing that stayed the same since we were in control. Patson Daka is an absolute beast. This man is goated. He will probably go into the Yorkie Hall of Fame. We might do that at the end of this FIFA. It's an idea I'm toying with. But he might go into the Yorkie Hall of Fame for this year's game because he's been so good. He has been so good. Miley Sarr as well. They're doing really well. Harry Wilson being super impressive. Actually really outworking Zaniolo, which is... I mean, Zaniolo was the big dog, right? That's why we brought him in. But people might have questioned why I signed Harry Wilson. And it's because I saw he was scoring for Fulham. And when you see a player scoring for another team in the simulation, they're going to score for you as well. And that's exactly what Harry Wilson has done for us. 11 goals, 8 assists. It's a good season. Our top assist maker there, I imagine, is actually Patson Daka as well. I mean, that's unbelievable that he's top with 13 assists and 40 goals. I mean, there is no one better. When it comes to up top, I do feel for Timothy Weah because he probably didn't play much. Now, some interesting things out on loan. Scarlett went up by 1, but only 1. Another couple of loans, though, and probably by the age of about 24, he'd be 80 rated. And that's organically. That's without us actually playing him tons and getting that dynamic potential. Yuan went out on loan and went up by 3. So this kid could actually be really good. Just doesn't wear the correct jersey because he does what he wants. I don't think there were particularly anybody else that super stood out. Sheng went out on loan, had a pretty decent time, gone up by 2. Again, I still think he'd be very good in the long run. Jake Jordan as well went out on loan, went up by 2. And Kieran Flood, who we promoted this year, went out on loan, went up by 6. So the loan system is probably the best way that you're going to send players out and get them upgraded in the early stages, unless you're willing to play them. So this could be something that caused us a few issues. Luis Diaz did get injured, but I mean, Lookman is he's a very steady backup, isn't he? Like, he's a really good backup. So I don't know, you know, Diaz, yeah, he is a superstar, but it seems a little bit crazy. There wasn't much improvement across the board this season. I imagine it's because players are getting on a little bit. Weirdly, 32-year-old Ricardo Pereira went up by 2. stranger things have happened, right? But we didn't see much growth this season. It was a weird year. Garrido, I think, becomes our best left back. Well, near enough our best left back. Pope only up by 1. Ramsdale probably didn't play much. Camona went out a lot. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see if your boy gets sacked. I'm expecting it, but it is what it is, right? We get sacked, we get sacked. The whole point of this is to see what happened after. There's a few things we've definitely learned. Patson Daka, he's a god. And, you know, that was the main thing I wanted to see, is how good Patson Daka was going to be as we progressed through. But at this stage, I'm still in a job. And I'm expecting the simulation to stop at any moment to tell me, Yorkie, you're not in a job anymore. But at this stage, I am still in the job. Are we going to get another season? It looks like it, which does mean that they have fixed the objectives. And we will get another year. We'll get another year here at Leicester. And this might be the last year. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, that's a plus for the objectives. It does mean now that you could basically ignore them. 41 rating. And we kept our job. I'm hoping you guys are experiencing the same thing. But it does mean now that we could basically ignore the objectives and just crack on with what we're doing. Here we are then. New season. Still in the job. Champions League football coming up. And we got to decide what we want to do with the squad. Because, I mean, they didn't perform. This is the hardest part, right? They didn't perform badly. We were just a little bit lackluster when it came to the cups. I don't know what I do to improve this team right now, because it's a pretty hefty, and it's a good team as well. Maybe a little bit more depth, maybe another left winger, but I mean, I like Yorkiemann. I think Yorkiemann's a good enough backup, to be honest with you. I'm low-key tempted to go again. I think we're going to sign another centre mid. I think Sanchez is great, but, you know, I think Ward-Prowse could probably go now at 31. I think we're probably going to bring in another centre mid. We got options. We got a lot of options. We're pretty blessed when it comes to my list of players at this stage, because I've gone through and scouted a lot. And I'm pretty sure we'll be pretty blessed at centre mid. I might go and just slap big boy money now, because we won the Premier League. We can afford to go hard or go home kind of situation. I think we might go for Barella, just because I've used him before and I know he slaps. I know he can do well. So I think we'll bring Barella in. And that might be the only deal we do. But when I'm looking aside from Barella, I just don't think there's anything we need to do. There's maybe we could upgrade centre back, but they're both 86 rated, and like they're both really good. The only player here that would upgrade it would be Tapsoba, who, don't get me wrong, the man's a beast, but I just maybe Bastoni. Maybe we could go in for Bastoni, bring in 2 Inter Milan players to try and shore up our season. We could then potentially let Salisu and Sionchu go, who are getting on a little bit, and we do have the money now. We might as well go wild with it. Or we could go a little bit smarter and go for someone like Ndika, who is better than what we've got back up at the moment. I think we're going to go for Ndika just because purely I'm a little bit mad when it comes to budgets, and I want to save as much money as possible, even though we're super rich. I want to be a little bit smarter with a budget, so we will move one of the centre backs on as well. Got like 400 million here sitting in the bank, and I'm like, I'm gonna be clever with the budget. We're not gonna spend 100 million on that player. With those two coming in, obviously we've already listed Ward-Prowse. That means we need to get rid of a centre back as well, and it could, to be honest with you, it could be Sionchu or Salisu, and because Salisu's the younger, I'm going to add Sionchu to the list. He's been a great servant to the club. Don't get me wrong, the man's been a great servant to the club, but I think that's probably the best deal for us to make. I'm not saying this means we're going to win the Champions League. I'm not saying that without saying it. But we won the pre-season trophy. We beat Barcelona, who we couldn't beat in the Champions League final. We beat Atletico Madrid as well. I mean, this is a good sign. A lot of boys were on holiday as well. They were I don't know, were they playing internationals? They were away. They were on a break. They were on holiday with their wives. So it was kind of second string that played this, and we still beat Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. We got some deals done here for Sionchu, who's gone to Manchester City, and Ward-Prowse, who's gone to Liverpool. Hopefully they don't come back to haunt us. I don't think they will do, though. They've done really well for the club, to be honest with you, but a 31 now for Ward-Prowse and 30 for Sionchu with better options. It just makes sense. Also gone out here and picked up the Community Shield against Everton. So, getting a bit of revenge there against Everton as well. But, I mean, this is looking and squaring up like it's going to be a good season. I don't know if the Champions League's been drawn yet. No, it hasn't. So, we don't know what the group is, but I think this is the year. We've had two pretty bad years. Let's be honest here. One out of the Champions League, and the other one, yeah, we won the league, but, like, we failed in all the other competitions. Definitely the Conference League was a massive letdown, so this could be the year. So I've just done probably what will be our last deal. Now, I moved Gomez out. I think he's great, but I just thought we could have a little bit of a better CDM backup. Say indeed he gets injured. We're pretty weak there, 81 rated for Gomez in the simulation won't be great. So we've gone and picked up Oliver Skip. He was at Leverkusen. He didn't cost too much, I think about 55 million. and a decent pickup. So the signings this year I'm really happy with. Barella and Dicker and Skip. I think they'll all do a decent job. But this has been our window. I don't expect us to do much more. Again, I kind of just loaned out all the youngsters for another goal, and we'll see what happens with them. We'll see how much they grow, see if we can get some decent growth from them. You know, they're decent players, so genuinely, if we were playing the game, a couple of them would have definitely broken into the first team at this stage by now. The Gomez loan deal there, you can see, to Barcelona. 23, he's just not grown as much as I thought he was going to do, but for a freebie, we'd actually make quite a good bit of profit off of him. We've got to remember that he was it was a freebie at the time. But yeah, so we moved a lot of players out on loan. Ward-Prowse, of course, Sionchu going there, and then we brought the free players in. Let's see where we stand at the end of the season. Can we win the Champions League? Can we win the league again? Can we just not suck in cup competitions and be knocked out by just low-tier teams? Let's see what happens. So I may have just found another bug, right? So because, you know, FIFA's got all these bugs and that, right? So I'm playing the game, and I'm like, well, you need to renew the contract. So I always renew all the contracts when I do a rebuild, because I did one rebuild once. I didn't renew none of the contracts. We went into the next season, and I lost like 6 of the best players in the team because I just forgot about the contracts. I just forgot, like, ah, nah, I don't need to do the contract. So I'm here doing the contracts, and all of them have worked, apart from Wilson's and Pereira's. I gave Pereira 2 years, and this is on delegate, right? This is delegating the contracts. It gave him 2 years, and it gave Wilson 1 year, or it might have been the other way around, but one was 2 years, one was 1 year, and none of them have kicked in. They both still say their contract's up in 8 months, and now obviously I can't offer them a new contract. So I'm legit, if we lose these 2 players because of this BS, I'm gonna be fuming. It's lucky it's the last season, but that kind of stuff does happen. So just be a little bit cautious when you're delegating. It's dumb because I delegated several other contracts at the same time and they were all fine. But if we do one now, right? Say I do Kyle Walker-Peters, delegate, it says an extra year. It's not giving him it. It's not giving him the extra year. So the game's bugged out. I'm hoping if we go forward, that this is rectified. So I did go forward a couple of days and it does fix it. So bear that in mind. Don't be stressing yourselves out too much. If you do offer the contracts, it doesn't show up straight away. I've gone forward now just like 2 days and the contracts are actually done. So it's more just a visual bug than it is actually a glitch and the contract's not working. Here we are then at the end of the final season, guys. And this is where we finished. And to be honest with you, we won the league back to back, and it's something we didn't actually manage to win when we played the game ourselves. So the simulation has allowed us to do it. Again, draws, but we'll take it. We still won the league by 3 points ahead of Spurs. So Spurs in this save world are very, very good at football. Second, back to back, and if it weren't for our Leicester, probably would have won the league. Man United there down in 9th, Man City in 12th. So both those teams not doing very well in the simulation. And then a few teams get relegated. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent season. But we were choke artists in the cup last year. Were we choke artists this year? We know we won the Community Shield, so I'm calling that a double, all right? And if you class the Friendly Cup, it's a treble, all right? It's a treble. Don't argue with me. FA Cup. How did we get on in the FA Cup? Did we have a good time? No, we lost in the final. Again, back-to-back final losses in the FA Cup. This time it's Man City, but, I mean, Man City have been trashing the league, haven't they? So you can't lose to them in the FA Cup. It is what it is. It is what it is. Carabao. How did we get on in the Carabao Cup? We didn't even make it to the final. Semi-final, we didn't make it to the semis. Didn't make it to the quarters. Knocked out by Bristol City. This will have been heavily around when the Champions League was going on, though, so I'll forgive it. Speaking of the Champions League, how did we get on in it? Did we win the Champions League? No, we didn't. We didn't make it to the semi, though. Knocked out by PSG, which is fair play, right? PSG have won the Champions League 3 times now in this save. So, I mean, fair play to them. They're probably the best team at the moment in the world on this. Counting them all. But we did far better than what we did in the conference. I knew we'd come good eventually. We got knocked out by Bayern Munich. No, we knocked out Bayern Munich, sorry, as well on our way there, and knocked out, well, CSK and Moscow. So, I mean, that was a little bit of an easier run. But the Bayern Munich game, it's good to see us knocking them out. I think we've knocked them out before as well, actually, in the series. So, the border's still unhappy with me, but not as unhappy. Let's take a look at this team before we wrap stuff up here. I want to see how we got on here this season. Pats and Dak are not having as good of a year, but we'll take still 29 goals, man. Genuinely, I don't think there's a striker better on this year's game. I just don't, mate. You're talking like Haaland and Mbappe levels. If we are saying that there's a striker as good, you're talking those levels of striker. Let's be 100% honest. 29 goals, 13 assists. I mean, he's had record-breaking season after record-breaking season, whether we used him or whether we've simmed here. Luis Diaz managed to keep himself fit for the entire season, 21 goals, 8 assists. Actually, someone I'd like to use then in a save at some point, because he's been pretty tasty in this Leicester team. What's great to see is Zaniolo picked it up a little bit this season, because he was poor this season before. Harry Wilson being the main man. Ismail Sarr up there as well now, 90 rated. He's someone who's been recommended a lot and an unbelievable player, genuinely a very, very good player. And then as we filter through, there's a few more goals there. We'll go through the entire team real quick. Take a look how they got on with ratings. So Yuan went up another 2 and we kept him this time. Couldn't get him a loan deal. And to be honest with you, he's at this stage where I would have sold Timothy Weah if we weren't simming. And I'd probably be using Yuan. He'd have played a lot more for me this season. He'd have probably been the backup, because at 19, he looks like he could be very good. He can also play as a cam. Scarlett didn't go up out on loan, which is a huge shame, to be honest with you. Not what you want to see. Yeremy Pino there. Yeremy Pino never really progressed. And I think if we'd have played the games again, he probably would have done. But, I mean, it's hard to get ahead of Sarr. But I think Pino, you could easily grow him to as big as what Sarr is. Curtis didn't go up out on loan, so it does show you that sometimes you'll do these loans and you won't get the progression you want. Harry Wilson there, 84 rated. Zaniolo there, 88 rated. Jordan didn't go up out on loan. Flood did go up just by 2, though. Not seeing great growth from the players out on loan this year. Sanchez went up by 1. Gibbs went up by 2, keeping him. So it looks like the players we actually kept progressed a lot better, because we had them on training plans. Sheng only up by 1. This guy could have been one of the best players in the world, and unfortunately that it's not going to happen for him. Barella did a great job. Lookman there up by 1. Diaz up by 1. Skip went up by 1. I think Skip being the backup this year was much bigger. Gomez again didn't go up at all out on loan to Barcelona. Didi down 92 rated. Kyle Walker-Peters 84 rated. The first time Ricardo Pereira has gone down at the age of 33, but more than usable at the age of 33, because he's 87 rating. And Dicker coming into the team didn't go up, but I mean, he'll have been a decent backup. Tomori now 87 rated. Garrido now 84 rated, along with Mikolenko. So they're both kind of kept at pace with each other. And we've got Aaron Ramsdale finally 80. I expect this guy to get a boost in his rating at some point. I don't know if they do that like halfway through the season when they do the transfer update or whatnot, if players get boosts to overall ratings. But Ramsdale is definitely one I expect to see. Maybe get a little nudge, and Pope went up by 1. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. That's going to be it for the Leicester series. Obviously, it's the end. I really enjoyed the idea of doing this. We might do this again with some other series that we really enjoyed. It kind of depends on the series and how we leave it and how it ended. But I thought it'd be nice with this Leicester one to go further. More than anything, I genuinely wanted to see how Patson Daka got on. That was the main thing for me in this, was play more and see how Daka actually gets on. And absolutely impressed. Of course I'm impressed. Patson Daka, he's a bit of a beast. Take care, everyone. I appreciate you all. If you're new around here again, make sure to smash that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next episode of whatever career mode we're doing at the moment. Most likely Barcelona or Newcastle.